Hello, everybody. It's Robbie from Southern California, and it's March 1st. I cannot believe it. Wait a minute. This doesn't look like my garden. I don't have bananas and things growing and all this. I'm actually starting from Gary's garden, but I'm not doing a garden tour in here. I'm just walking through because this was the way I came down today, even though I really should be picking some greens. Look at all this. But this is Gary's garden. We'll do a separate one so he can, tell me everything going on. But look how green this is. Isn't this amazing? He's got tree collards. He's got all kinds of Swiss chard. This is potato mint dying back because it doesn't really like the cold weather, but it will come back later on. There's potato mint there. This one's more pink. He's got tomatoes going through here too. And among his sweet potatoes, pepinos down there, and that's Malabar spinach going all the way up. Then you've got garlic chives here, which have got the seeds. And there's his ponds. A few people have asked the containers that are in the pond. If he's growing something, like let's step out, like he's got garlic here. Yes, there are always holes in that. This will have holes because the whole idea is to keep the containers, the totes, damp. And he's very busy right now, so he wants to get this done because him, like me, do not have enough hours in the day. Can I ask you what you're planting?
More garlic.
More garlic. Yeah, don't go buy organic certified garlic from Walmart because it all grows and we ended up with way too much. So I'm going to let him do his thing and we'll do a separate garden tour because he's got a lot of questions on bananas to answer. And he wants to get his garlic planted before the sun goes down. So let's see. So what's going on here? He's got his raspberries that will come back soon. And we can hike up the hill and see what's going on. The tree here, I think it's a jujube. That's going to come back later because we're still in winter. And once we're done with winter, of course, a lot of things will start coming up. And I see something down. Oh my gosh. Something's there. Let's go see what's up on the trail down there. Something's sitting in the center there. I'm just going to hike up here. Here's his wood chips. Look, you get to see the back lot. I don't usually come down here unless I'm doing a nature walk or something. See all the grass is starting to grow now? And that's going to bring in the deer pretty soon because that's what they graze on. And we've been quite windy today. It's the back side of my garden. My garden's up there where the black wall is. And then, of course, there's the papaya trees. You can barely see them. See if we can walk over here so you can see them. We have more citrus trees all through here. I've got jade plants. I don't really need that. He's replacing a lot of the jade plant with elephant food because jade plant, that's actually a toxic plant. You never want to eat jade plant. But elephant food is in its own category, and that is edible. So he's trying to replace a lot of that. Now you can't really see the papayas from here, but they're up there. And it's a trash can that's down here. There's his bees. We all know his bees. And they are just real busy. We can take a quick peek. They're really packed in there. I'm surprised they haven't split off. He thinks they split off last year. I really should just go buy him a beehive. And he should sit it out here. And if they find a hive nearby, they'll split off and stay nearby. But they are really, really packed in there. All right, let's continue up. I guess he had a trash can that with the wind today blew down the hill and dumped a bunch of stuff. I'll have to let him know. And there is the truck bed. This is a real hike. You think this isn't a hike? Let me show you something. This road is downhill. And I just hiked uphill. Look at this. This is olive trees. This brings in a lot of birds. We have ficus trees and olive trees in here, and they come in and they feed off of it. The Cooper hawks are back. And they are building the same nest from last year. Here's all the aloe vera he planted. So he's got aloe vera here. He had aloe vera here, but the gophers got it. So he pulled the ones out that were still good, and he replaced it with elephant food, and they haven't seemed to bother the elephant food. That is, the gophers haven't bothered it. And then, of course, the bathtub. which he's still working on, and he still has all these ponds to do. And that's it. We are up here. Let's take a look at the bathtub really quick. Okay, the sun, the sun is still hitting that. It's not hitting the other one, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And now we are back in my garden, and there is the chair garden, which I absolutely love. So before we walk over to the chair garden, I want to show you, this is where he moved more aloe veras. And the hummingbirds feed off the beautiful yellow flowers. And it's a good place for them, and nothing's bothered them there. But it's amazing that over there the gophers came and they were bothering them, so he moved them. So let's walk over here and take a look at what's going on. I suspect a rabbit's got babies here, because I watered the other night and she came bouncing out. So I don't know if she's in my truck bed or she's underneath. Look at that, the pomegranate tree's coming back. It means it's spring. Oh, I sure hope so. But you know what? I can't complain. We may be getting down into the 40s at night, but otherwise it has been really nice. The plants love it. I haven't put anything new in here yet, and I still have some squash. Actually been taking them in and roasting them. So we'll see if I get to this squash or if it's going to just reseed itself. But this is beautiful. This has got the red Swiss chard. It's got the green Swiss chard, and then the multicolored one. So this is doing really good. I'm probably going to dot this with buckets and leave everything that's growing in there. And in the buckets, I may have squash or zucchini or something in there, maybe even tomato plants. I'm not sure. But here is the chair garden. Have not done anything in here yet. This is everything that was planted last year. The only thing I do periodically is I move the lettuce. Look how big the lettuce is. By simply moving a teeny lettuce that I've got here, these teeny ones, as soon as I move them, they take off and get really big because they really need to be on their own. They don't want a lot of root competition. And if they have a lot of root competition, then you end up with a little short field, kind of like a microgreen of lettuce. But you know what? I can move these at any time and they just take off. They're really the easiest thing. I believe I have a video up. Check it out if you want to grow lettuce. The lettuce I grow is romaine. I tried a few different other types, but they don't grow anywhere as good as the plain old romaine. And you know what? I'm happy with romaine. Here, besides the lettuce, I still have celery. I still have peppers growing. There's more celery. The tomatoes have all died back. I don't know if I'm going to try to save some of these plants or just start over. I think I've got a little broccoli in there. I've got another one here. This might be a tree-colored. Might be a cutting I stuck in there. Yeah, I need to start labeling. Labeling is important because I have to go back and guess all the time what I planted. I've got a little pepper plant in here, beautiful parsley. I've got an eggplant in there. I've got more lettuce in here. These didn't grow as big. Container's a little bit on the small side. Lettuce loves to have a big container. Put it in a tote, 5 or 6 lettuce, and you will grow massive lettuce. I'm going to pull everything out of here, more tomatoes. Now these tomatoes are doing really good. So this one is a keeper. Definitely I'm going to keep the San Marzano tomato in there, and I'm going to take care of it. I may even take some cuttings off, which is really easy. Just take a nice cutting, put it in some damp soil, and it will grow more celery. I believe there's another pepper back there. And like I said, I already showed you the lettuce in here, garlic chives, sow thistle. I've left this really for the goldfinches that come in. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to try to save this, this tomato plant, but I did see that it's trying to come back from the base. So what I may do is take all the tomatoes off very soon, cut it way down where the new growth is coming, add in maybe some more kitchen scraps, leaves and stuff, top it up a little bit more, and then let that take off and see if it grows since it did so well. Okay, let's walk over here. Oh, not much going on with the trees. I'm getting rid of that cardboard box. I had it covered in plastic. The box is deteriorating. I'm going to pull those plants out. Use the soil that broke down in there. That was fantastic. And use those chairs to set something up really good. The apple trees that I planted from seeds are still doing good. They never lost their leaves. So that has been amazing. But, you know, whatever happens. I was just surprised that they are still going good. And so is that avocado tree that came up. I'm thinking of trying to graft that one and see from there what happens. Not much here. This is just the chairs that we've been getting for free. Gary found some. These are the ones my daughter called and said they're sitting on the curb. You want them? Go get them. So Gary did. And then, of course, here's the papayas. You could not see them down below because the elephant food and the pomegranate tree that's right there, that one covered it. Gary's been trimming them back. He's shaping the pomegranates because, boy, do they get big. And that is my cactus I brought home. I was so excited. I saw the pad laying on the side of the street once, brought it home, no thorns. See, there's no thorns on it. Then I saw another one day and I stopped and picked it up. I won't pick up any more pads. The other one I picked up was full of spikes, but not that one. But see, he's been shaping the pomegranate tree here and here. Papayas, well, they're still growing papayas. Got a rotten one up there. He's got to take that off. The weather's been so cool at night that a lot of them have not ripened properly. So once the weather gets back into the 50s, but we're still dropping in the 40s, it's sometimes some of the papayas just don't quite make it. And here's a young papaya tree. Now remember, if you want to grow papayas, like bananas, they are heavy feeders. But it's so easy for you to fix that. Put a tote with a lot of holes on the bottom or just up from the bottom, fill it up with leaves, water it as if there's a plant in there, and it will feed your papayas. Same thing with your bananas. If you're in the city and you're trying to grow bananas, feed your bananas and you will have bananas. You know what's purple back there and all the bees are going after it? My rosemary. Oh my gosh. Look at all the beautiful purple flowers. And the bees are so happy. And there's the other papaya. This is the big one that is so falling down. Look at this. Can you see? Oh my gosh. Look back there. We have more papayas back through there. Can you see back there? And we've got, of course, the papayas here. And we have more papayas up there. So that's what's going on here. Okay, I'm just going to touch on this because what I'm doing with my rainbow garden is I'm actually doing videos and updates as I go along. Let's step back so you can see what's going on. I can't say nothing because what I do is I come out here, usually in the morning, I have a cup of coffee, and I kind of look at it, and then I decide, well, what am I going to do? And every day it seems like I've come up with something. So that is a setup that's staying, and we're going to talk about the chairs back there with the black tote. That is very important to me, and it will be very important to everything else here. These chairs, I just started to set them up. I set my first one up the other day. Is this cool? So this stays here. This is part of the layering. I doubt we will have worms here yet, but we'll see. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Okay, can you see this? This is no joke. I had no idea. I just set this up 2 days ago. I'm afraid to put this down because I don't want to lose any worms. Can you see all the worms? I only put a few in here, so I thought. Can you see all this? Holy mackerel! I'm in shock. Oh, see how fast they disappear? When you lift something, they just disappear. Look at this. Oh, I am so excited over this. Let me put this back. Hopefully we didn't lose any worms down there. No. Hopefully we don't squish anybody. Oh, let's see. I had it this way. Okay, we don't want to upset these worms because this is fantastic. So this tells me I've got lettuce and garlic right now planted here, and that's what's in here. This I just brought here this morning. I don't think there'll be anything under here. I don't know. I just sat this here this morning. This is oregano. This is a small cutting that I had started on my deck, and it did really good, so I put it in a bigger pot, but it's not going to stay here. This is a cutting of a tomato plant that I want, but I don't know if I'm going to grow it here. And it's a little yellow, but we'll see if it makes it. It was in part of my yard in my bird garden, and it was dying back, the whole plant. So I took the part that was still growing, and I put it in there. And then I've got walking onions through here. Love my walking onions. See, I haven't done anything here. Just starting to bring out the toilet paper rolls and branches and different things and getting ready to get this all. That excites me because I only thought when I grabbed some soil, I threw in a handful of worms. Not even that. It must have been in my garlic, as well as, like I said, sometimes you pick up soil and you don't even know, unless they crawled up at night. hence night crawlers, and they do crawl. You'll see them everywhere. They're not just in pots and containers. They crawl around at night when it's damp. So anyways, we know the chairs are staying like this. Not this one. This one's just here. I've got to have a whole different setup if my idea works here. So let me see. If it doesn't work, I'll tell you. And if it does work, you'll see it. But either way, you'll know. I'll tell you, I'm going to have something here, but not yet. That's coming in probably in another month. Let's see. And then back there, like I said, those chairs are staying. Now, I don't know what I'm doing behind the fig tree yet. I talked about that in my other video update. I'm going to think about how I'm going to set it up. I know there'll be a water feature on that chair. I'm starting to think I might use that black round container. I might put some blueberries in there. I've got some blueberry plants out front that are doing really poorly, and I think they really need a whole lot more sun. So if I put them under the fig tree, they should be able to get sun and shade, and I might take the 3 worst ones, put all 3 in there, and if they do really good, I can always transplant it later and move it, and that I'm excited about. We will talk about that in a few days. That I came up with this morning. I was sitting here with my coffee, and I was just looking at everything and thought, oh my gosh, I know what I'm doing on that wall, and that's probably going to stay there. Of course, you may come back in a few days on another video and see that all those buckets gone, but I think that's going to be there, and I'll explain exactly what that's going to be, because that is going to be a very special garden for me. All right, and that's my craft table that I will be doing crafts on. I can't believe this tablecloth. I've had this for years and years and years. It's been all over the yard and keep my table clean, and it was bundled up in the yard. It was actually on the deck last time I found it here. I found it the other day, and I thought, gee, that's been everywhere, and it's still in good shape, and I don't think they make tablecloths like that anymore. That's probably 20 years old, but that's going to be really good, so I won't get that table really, really dirty. But anyways, you don't care about a tablecloth. So that's it. Now let's look at here. Nothing has been done there yet. So I'm going to start putting a lot of leaves and stuff. You know that I make my own soil. As Mother Nature, anything on the top has not broken down. Anything underneath is either broken down or just starting to break down. I am going to start making my own soil, start throwing a lot of stuff in there. Gary trimmed a lot of trees, and he told me he left me all the branches and stuff. So I'm going to be doing all of these here. Now here, I think I'm going to change a few things up, but not exact. Oh, here, he put it over here. He told me he left me a pile. Let me tell you something real quick, and I'll talk about it another time in case people want to watch just, the totes that I'm setting up. I threw a bunch of branches in the chair garden. The totes were loaded with branches, topped with leaves, a little bit of kitchen scraps, and whatever around the garden. Then the top, I threw in native soil, like I did. You saw all those worms, just threw in some native soil. And then on the very top, I used a little bit of potting soil. I have not had not one of the totes. Let's walk through here because nothing's new except for the purple tree colored. I have not had one tote in my chair garden that's down there, not one tote block up on me. That's why I'm not going to be doing anything but topping them up. Don't have to do anything at all. That's a hummingbird if you heard it bark. Probably have to go do the feeders again. Do you know I fill those feeders, and as fast as I fill them, I walk out of the house, I have to go back and fill them again. We have more hummingbirds this year than I have ever seen before here. So anyways, the branches really helped to make it not block up. Sometimes when you pile a lot of soil in there, especially if it's clay soil, it will block up the holes, and then you got to kind of redo it a little bit. I did not have to do a single one. So I want to make sure that my new gardens and all my totes are set up that way. If possible, branches, just all these different branches, and then throw your soil in. It keeps your soil so aerated that it drains really well. And it doesn't matter how wet it gets, it matters how well it drains. Keep that in mind. That's my Malabar spinach that died back and will probably just reseed itself, even though a lot of it is still alive. You can still see some green leaves in there. This is lettuce, and that is growing great. 2 different methods of setting them up. I guess you could say 3 methods if you want to count the white bucket, and all of them are working, so it doesn't matter. As long as you keep the lettuce wet, it doesn't matter, it grows. Let's keep walking through here. I staked up these Goliath tomatoes that really didn't do much last year, and now they're growing. This is the one my daughter gave me. They're a determinate, which was really odd because I got really very few tomatoes last year. The plant didn't die back. These two, I've got another one over here. And now they're throwing tomatoes. We're getting massive tomatoes. Look at that. That's green sorrel down there. And some lettuce and garlic down here. See? The garlic I'm planting is white soft neck garlic. And that's what I'm getting from Walmart. It doesn't say that, but I know what type of garlic it is. I looked it up, and that is the garlic that they're selling, and it's doing fantastic here. It's one of the easiest garlics to grow. These squash plants are last year's plants, and they're trying desperately to make a comeback. Look at this. But they will be coming out, and I will be composting them. I've got the peppers still growing. I've got somewhere down here, I've got black beauties. I'm not even sure where they are now. Are they here? Oh, here they are. Look at this. We've had peppers all winter. You see that here? You can't see it with the tomato. There it is. It's all full. It's just full and full and full. More peppers there. More peppers here. Isn't that amazing? The plant's struggling, but you know what? Get a little bit of compost in there, some rotted leaves, some leaves on the top, and that will help. Let's just keep walking, because like I said, I haven't done anything. I've been working right now just in my rainbow garden and working on getting rid of all these buckets. No, working on setting them up. Boy, do I have ideas. Now, my daughter said this morning, oh, you can bring me more buckets with garlic in it. And I said, I'll bring you the garlic that's growing. No, she wants them in buckets. I already sent a bucket there, so I'll get her a white one. And I'll send her a white bucket with more garlic. Let's see what's growing here. I have a couple carrots left in there. That's a big eggplant. I don't know how my thyme is going, but I need to grow thyme. I just got some seed. Oh, you know what? There's the thyme. It's making a comeback, so we'll see. Then I still have a little bit of sage left. Looks a little sad. The basil will just start some new. I've got some new growing on my deck. And then I've got potatoes, onions, and lettuce, and cabbage. Is this really cool? Look at all the cabbage in here. Each tote, look at this. Each tote, I figured, can hold 3 cabbage plants. And so each one, I've got 9 cabbage plants in there. 3, 3, and 3. And then that one and that one's got potatoes growing. You can see all the potato leaves. The center is just the white onions. It's the one that threw the little baby sets on top. They're not walking onions. They actually threw white onions on the top. This is sow thistle. And again, I leave that for the goldfinches because I think it's important to help the birds out too. And like I said, these are my buckets I'm setting up. That one I bought at Walmart, I think a little over a year ago. It's a different color, so I'm going to use that for something too. But there's my buckets. Little by little, they're disappearing. Gary said the green buckets are his, so he's been taking the green buckets. They're mine too. And here is the front yard. I have not done really anything in the front yard yet. I haven't started planting in here yet or setting up my totes because I want to plant zucchini in the front yard. So we're a little bit early, but we're getting very close. And then all through here, I will decide on what I'm going to do. That's purple tree collard. Everything got moved. You saw it. Oh, these are the plants I'm thinking of putting in the black tub. They died back, and I thought they weren't going to make it back. I'm still not sure on this one. But definitely, I think they need a little more sun. So I'm going to move those 3 blueberries. It's 2 different types. So I want to keep them together. Got a few beets left in here. And then just some, dinosaur kale growing through here. A lot of these, that's red vein sorrel. Nothing in here yet. This is the mess we kind of moved around. I haven't done anything with it. But you don't throw soil away, so I want to use all that. And these blueberries did quite well. I don't know if we'll really get... maybe we will get some blueberries. These 3 did really good. And see how much sun they get? And I was going to transplant them in that container, and then they just went to flower. So I figured I'll leave them right now, and I'll do something with them later. This is a broccoli plant. Got a tree collard back there. And then, of course, you see my onions, and there's some parsley and different things growing there. But that's it. Like I said, I haven't done anything in the front yard. So that's coming. It's only one person, so I can only do so much. Purple sprouting broccoli. That's what this is. These are cuttings that I stuck in there over a year ago, and they're still growing. The onions are a little slow this year, but they're still there. I think they needed a little more room, and I think the other problem with the onions is I shoved too many in each brick. Well, they're not in bricks. They're in either flower pots or milk containers, and I think I put too many, so I kind of overcrowded them, but they're still all alive. So we'll see what happens in the spring. He's still working on this. This is where he's going to put like a little wall, and there was something else there, and it was rotted out, so he's changing that, Gary. And then this is my beautiful turmeric and ginger table. Anyways, to think just a few months ago how beautiful it looked. I see that back here, the stevia is making a comeback already. So I'm going to clean this all up very soon. And all this, everything you see here is going to go in a tote. This is all part of the compost. I may not put this on the very bottom because I like putting branches on the bottom, but I'll put some branches and then this. This is my black turmeric, and I'm going to harvest this very soon. I'll take you with me because I like to see how much is in there. And this is going to be done up a little differently than the way I've been doing it for the past few years. And we'll see when I get this harvested. Every day I say I'm going to do it, but then I end up working in the other garden. I'm going to probably put a little bit here too. But this is just really, it's loaded with ginger, loaded with turmeric. And I've got to get in here. Look at this. We have tons and tons of ginger. This is ginger. And I've got to get in here because I got to make ginger cookies and get through here and then separate them, keep what I want to keep, freeze what I want to freeze, and plant back what I want to plant back. Okay, now let's go into the main garden. Again, I haven't done anything. Really haven't done anything. I'm still throwing extra compost in here. I mean, this is all just stuff growing all winter. Nothing's changed back here. It's exactly the way you've seen it. I let the birds come back here. The birds are here all day, and I've got to fill these feeders again. We just filled these feeders about 30 minutes ago, and they have come through and took everything. We feed regular standard bird seed. Bird seed you would buy for parakeets, cockatiels, conures, whatever birds, that's what we buy for these birds. I don't buy a wild bird mix, though there's nothing wrong with it. I prefer to get just regular good bird seed, so we put that out. And let me tell you, they know because they come right away as soon as I put it out. Look at the bees. Isn't that cool? The bees are there and the water. So look at my water. These are the easiest thing to make from a candlestick. Got to clean those. Oh, I see my other fountain needs a little water. Oh, these are amazing. These are the buckets. I sent one to my daughter. This is a small 2-gallon bucket. And I put some garlic in here. I think there's 5 to 6 garlic per bucket. And then each one has 2 or 3 lettuce in there. Now this one's only got 2 lettuce. This is a good experiment. See how big this lettuce is? This one has got a whole bunch of lettuce and they're smaller. And that one's got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that one is not as big as this one. But the one that's only got 2 is massive. So the less in a container, the better. And this is good because I wanted to see how that would be. Watered the same, taken care of the same, but less in a container is better. So, but it doesn't matter. You know what? Small or big, we've been eating so much salad now, it's unbelievable. Okay, you know what? I think that's pretty much it for March 1st because I am so excited to get back into my rainbow garden and get things done. Look at this. That's tree collared. And then I've got the eggplant. Oh, eggplant is starting. Look, 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 look. I didn't see that the other day. Oh, fantastic. More flowers. Then I've got some purple tree collards. I just moved that one there. I'm going to leave it in the pot. My soil in this yard is really bad. So it's kind of a hit and miss on what's going to grow in the ground. Like this one's in the ground and it's doing really good. I had another one in the ground that died back. So it's kind of a hit and miss. So I like leaving them in pots when possible. Big holes on the bottom so they can send their roots out in the ground. And it works. Believe you me, look at this one. This is a tree collard in a pot. See the pot? But look how big it is. This tree collard that you see all through here is in the one in the pot. Now, of course, the roots have left the ground, but it's just intertwined everywhere. and they do good in the pot. Plus, when I water the pot, I know 100% that the plants are getting water. When you water the ground, ooh, something got in there and dug. I'm not supposed to have a rabbit in here, but they do get in here. They climb to the wire. They'll go along the wall and climb in, even though there's gates. When you water the ground, sometimes you think you're watering the plant, and what happens is there might be a hole or something directing the water actually away. Ants will direct water away. And then, of course, just nature sometimes directs water away for whatever reason. But when you have a pot and you water a pot, like I've got a cutting here of the old tree color, you know that it's getting water. That's why I like having pots. Even if the plant's going to grow out of the pot, it will always get its water. I'm going to clean up all through here and change things around. Probably will end up taking that collard out and doing some cuttings off of it because I've got all this area that I can do so much. See, we've been dragging things around and changing things a little bit. And then there's the moringa up there. Papaya. Look at that. Isn't that something? Growing in this tote that it has broken through. It has broken out. I've got a lot of little papayas. I don't know if it's worth trying to yank them out and root them. I could think about it. It's not that important to have those. And then here, same thing. I see this plant died back. That was the cutting I did that you saw in the rainbow garden. I took the cutting off because there was some green leaves still on there. So I was trying to see if I could save a piece of it. If it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll just start it from seed. And then some Swiss chard that the birds are eating. This is bird damage. Goldfinches, house finches, white crowned sparrows come on there. They sit there and they eat the greens. That's to see the birds are already there and they're waiting. Hey, our bowls are empty. Well, let me finish and then I'll come fill up the bowls. And that's it. And now we're back. Let me step out so you can see. That's more rosemary. I love my rosemary. Love my pizza I make with the rosemary. And I'm back outside here in my rainbow garden. So we did a full circle. This time we started from Gary's garden. The only reason I started from Gary's garden is I had gone down there to look around and I had my camera with me and I told him I'm going to start from here. And he said, I have so much to do. I said, all right, well, we'll interview you another time. I'll interview you or make him do his own garden tour. And I'll just walk through. So he said, okay. And that's it. So I think this is going to be so cool when it's set up. I can't wait. In the summer, I'll open up the umbrella. I'm going to eat out here. I'm going to come out here and have breakfast. You know, you may think, wow, this is just too much color. But when the plants are growing and they're drooping over the color and they're peeking through the green leaves and beyond the green leaves, you see all the bright colors. It's going to enhance this garden. It's not going to look like this, but the colors will just enhance the garden. It's not going to stand out like this. It's going to look so cool. I know it. I can picture it already. I think the next thing I'll do is plant my potato mints. I want to get them in the ground. I already know that they're going in those 2 totes. So we'll do an update on this. You'll see what's going on real soon. And I just can't wait to get all these set up first and then work on this wall. And I know that's staying. I know this is staying. And I don't know yet what I'm doing here. So we'll see. I can change my mind anytime I want. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this garden tour. I'm so happy that in about 3 weeks we'll be in the spring, and I hope that means that our nights will be in the 50s instead of the 40s. With that, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody. And yes, I did this one in the late afternoon. Little different than doing it early in the morning. But you know what? It was quiet. And I thought, no leaf blowers, nobody building that house behind me, just quiet. I don't even hear any planes, really. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody. I still can't believe that. I had no idea. Oh, you're all gone now. Oh, yeah, she lifted the bucket. Well, we'll teach you a lesson. We all disappeared. Oh, how funny. But I know you're there. You can't fool me. Cool.